It was 15 years ago. It was the last days of school, and me and my classmates were saying the last goodbyes, deciding on what legacy to leave behind in our school's yearbook. We were asked to write our life ambition. I wrote that I want to change the world, and if I fail, at least to change my small corner of it. I know, I have to admit, as a kid, I had this thing for dramatic statements, but my heart was really in it. And I think that this was prerequisite for doing anything meaningful in life. After serving in the army and starting my first business, I left my small corner of the world and I went to London where I studied. And in 2014, I came across a dilemma. Should I stay in the UK with so many opportunities, or should I come back home? Cyprus was experiencing severe financial crisis, but for me, the decision was obvious. I still remember that rush of motivation of wanting to come back, build things for my country, and give back to my community. And over the years, I understood that entrepreneurship is not an easy path. You're bleeding every single day until one day you get your first small win, and you're on that path because you're really committed in your purpose. And without being heart-centered, if you don't really believe in your mission, it's really tough. But what is heart-centered entrepreneurship? A heart-centered entrepreneur is someone who's motivated and driven by the mission of creating a positive impact to the world, to his community, to his country. And I came up with my own philosophy, which I call it 3 H's, that articulates the meaning of heart-centered entrepreneurship. The first H stands for the head. The head is where we take the most important decisions. We're using our judgment, it's our knowledge. The second H is our heart, which symbolizes the love for what we do, our passions, our motivation, our intuition. And the best decisions I've ever made in my life was with my heart and my intuition. The third H is the hand, which symbolizes giving back, but at the same time you're using the hand to lift someone, to support someone, but also shape your world and your community. The most important is the heart, because without the heart, both literally and metaphorically, the head and the hand cannot function. Today, I would like to share with you 6 principles that help me to stay heart-centered as an entrepreneur. The first one is that you need to be a doer. In 1910, Theodore Roosevelt had this very popular speech called "The Man in the Arena." And essentially what it means is that you need to be in the arena. The person who's in the arena is the one who matters, who is an entrepreneur, a builder, an artist, and not the critic, not the spectator. And we have to admit, being in the arena, it's really difficult, it's really tough, it requires a lot of fighting, and you're willing to fail under your own name. That's why it's really important to be accountability, because the only way to get credibility and get trust from your community is by being accountable. The third principle is that always you need to follow your intrinsic motivation and define your purpose. As a Limassolian, I really love my city, and also was one of the reasons I really wanted to come back. And since 2015, I started investing in real estate in the old part of the city, trying to restore historic buildings, which is a road that not many people take because it takes ages to get the planning permissions and restore these historic buildings. So one of the stories of restoring a building is this old mansion, which I acquired in 2017. It took me 3.5 years to get the planning permissions and 2 years of renovation and facing a lot of difficulties and challenges. But I'm really happy when I see the final result, that we converted it into a boutique hotel and gave that building a second chance. At the same time, it created a lot of positive externalities for the neighborhood, and it gave pride within the community. And I think these kind of projects can revive the old city, and this is how entrepreneurs can create wealth for everyone. And currently, we have over 10 projects that I'm really committed to revive more areas of the historic city of Limassol. The fourth principle is that always you need to empower your community and prioritize impact over profit. In 2018, out of our own passions, we wanted to bring like-minded people together, so we organized a gathering to talk about entrepreneurship and technology. Today, this gathering, 7 years later, is the biggest tech event on our island and is becoming one of the biggest technology events in the region. We have seen tremendous impact from this initiative. We have startups found investors. We saw entrepreneurs finding their co-founders. Even some people found their life partners. And the interesting thing about this project is that for the past 7 years, we haven't been making any profit. Instead, we have been investing everything in order to grow it because we were amazed from the results that we can give back to our local ecosystem. Here you can see the growth year after year, but what matters is not the number of people, but it's the impact. And this has grown organically throughout the years because once you build a community, you create immediately a ripple effect that can grow fast. The fifth principle is that we need to build collaborative ecosystems. When I was a kid, I was always believing that I could do everything by myself. But after 10 years of a lot of hard work and a lot of lessons gained from my entrepreneurial journey, I realized without having strong teams, you can't do anything. And during the pandemic, I wanted to support my local ecosystem, and I had this vision of making our country, Cyprus, a tech island. So I invited like-minded people together, and currently we create an initiative that is the most significant initiative for accelerating the technology, the growth of the technology ecosystem in our country. And I realized that when a lot of people are aligned to the same mission and really believe in the mission, then you require much less input from yourself to get much more output. So it's really important to work with like-minded people and bring them together, unite them for the best of your mission. The sixth principle, which for me is one of the most important, is that you constantly need to work on yourself because everything starts within. I would like to share with you one of my favorite poems by the Greek poet Kavafi called The City. I selected a few verses from the beginning and from the end. It starts with the following. I'll go to another country, go to another shore, find another city better than this one. And it ends. You'll always end up in this city. Don't hope for things elsewhere. There is no ship for you, there is no road. Now that you have wasted your life here, in this small corner, you have destroyed everywhere in the world. The meaning of this poem is that your personal outlook to life is the most important. You need to solve all your internal struggles, you need to work on yourself before going and changing your part of the world. So I'd like to take a few seconds and think about the things that make your heart a little warmer. Focus on the things that can have the bigger impact for your community, because when we care, we do a better job. So let us lead with compassion, courage, and commitment to build a better future for us all. And what happens when each one of us help our small corner of the world flourish? We might change the whole world. Thank you.